What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video. So today in this YouTube video, we are going to be working on the back bodice block. Yay! I know you guys have been waiting for this video for a very long time, but the first quarter of this year, y'all, has been honestly so busy for me. So I really haven't just had time to sit down and to pour the knowledge into you guys that I want to, but I am back and we are better. So let's hop right on into it. If you have not already, make sure you go check out part 1 of this video so that you are up to date on exactly what needs to happen for this video as far as measurements, materials, everything of that sort. Make sure you go ahead and check out part 1 and that you have your front bodice block ready, okay? So the only additional measurements that we are going to need for this video is going to be the trap line. So the trap line is going to be from the top of the trap muscle all the way down to the length that you decided to stop with, whether that was your waist, your upper hip, whatever you decided to stop with the front bodice block tutorial. That is what you're going to use for that measurement, and it should be different. It should be different. It might not be different, but sometimes it should be different, okay? So let's just hop right on into it. Okay, so for our basic bodice block for the back, the only added measurement that I have added is the trap line. So for example, for the front, we did the shoulder to the length. So now you want to do the top of the neck, which is the trap line, to the length as well. So for mine, the difference is going to be 1 inch. So we'll see why we needed that difference inside of the back bodice block. Okay, so starting off, we're going to start, instead of using the guideline as the shoulder to the length like we did in the front, for this one we're going to start with the trap line. So for my trap line is 21 inches. So we're going to get that marked here on the paper the same way that we did with the front bodice block. Okay, now once we have our trap line marked, what we're going to do is we're going to start making our measurements horizontal the same way that we did the front measurements. So you want to go in and you want to do the same exact thing. You want to do the neck circumference, the shoulder width, the bust, underbust, everything of that sort. And then I will show you the difference in the neck circumference for the curve when we get back towards that part. So start off with bust, underbust, waist, hips, upper hips, everything of that sort. Whatever you were using to get your measurements before. Okay. So the length that I have here is 22 because in the front, again, I stopped at 22, but since this only stops at 21, we're going to keep the bottom 21. We're not going to add an inch, and we'll see why later. So I have marked everything vertically, and now I'm going to go horizontally and mark my lines. So for my bust point here, my bust is 9 inches, so we're going to go and do that over again. Always remember that you're dividing these measurements by 1/4 of a measurement, right? So make sure that you guys do this on something flat. I'm just doing this here for presentation reasons, but it will be much easier if you're doing it flat lay, okay? This is your bust. For my underbust, it is going to be 8 inches. For my waist, it's going to be 7, and for my hips, it's going to be 8.75. Right. It's so terrible trying to write upwards. Okay, whatever. So now that we have all of these points, we're going to go ahead and mark our shoulder line up here. So again, this is the only part that will change, as well as the length of the garment for the back, right? So my shoulder width is 16, and remember I divided that by 2 instead of 4 because I only did the shoulders from shoulder to shoulder and not the entire circumference. So I'm going to do 8. And my little thing is in the way. But 8. And so while I do 8, I'm also going to mark that 3. So remember, I went in 3 for the circumference of my neck. Now, following the 3 I went in 3 on the front bodice as well as 3 down. For the back bodice, you only want to go 1 inch down. You don't want to go 3 inches down because for the front, you have a deeper curve, and for the back, it kind of keeps that curvature up closer towards your neck. And this is also something that's based off preference, but this is just the foundation to be able to start adjusting things outside of this basic bodice block, right? So you want to go 1 inch down. So you can call 1 inch like a standard for your bodice blocks if you're creating them for yourself or other people. This is just the standard bodice block. So you marked 1 inch and you marked that 3 inch as well. And then you're also going to go down that 1 inch still to give that shoulder the slope that we gave it in the front bodice block as well. Then you're going to go in with your straight ruler and you're going to give this a straight curve here. And for up here, you're going to go in with a curve, connect these 2 points, and give it a curve. Now we have our neck hole, we have our shoulder slope, we have our bust, underbust, waist, hips, or length, right? And so now we can go ahead and form this shoulder point again. So for my shoulder depth, I had went down, let's see, on my armhole depth, I went down 7 inches, right? So from this point, you want to go down 7 inches, or you can go up from the first point that we created and go down 8 if you want to play off of that straight line, right? So once you go down 8 inches, this will become, again, your chest line. Although you don't have a necessary chest line like for the back, it's just kind of a foundation, I will say. So this, again, will be your chest line. So now you can go in again and have this at a curve from the shoulder slope down to the chest line. That curves into the bust, and you'll have the same curves that you did for your front bodice block, right? So always remember that your armhole, your chest line is the same as your bust point. So your bust is 9, so the chest line will be 9. And from there, you can go ahead and form your curve. Now you can give your armhole depth a little bit more space than what we did for the front. I don't remember exactly what we did for the front. I'm going to want to say we did 0.5 because that's more of a standard. So you can do 0.75 if you want like your armhole to be deeper than the front, which is optional, right? I'm going to go in the same 0.5 that I did for the front. And you want to mark this halfway through your armhole depth. So at that 3.5 mark, I'm going to mark that halfway inch, because that's just halfway through. So now I have this point here, I have the top of my shoulder slope, and I have that chest line point. So you're going to want to connect all three of those points to form your armhole, right? All right, so now that you form that armhole, you're going to go in and form the lines and then the curves of your bust, right? So we can start off with straight lines and just connecting these points throughout. All right, so now that we have connected these points, this is where you go in with a curved ruler and you kind of curve the points to how they fit your body. So for example, near my waist curves in before it goes back out to like form around my hips. And you can kind of see it forming within these lines. So as you can see, this is the curve. It starts curving in towards my waist and then it forms back around my hip area. So it does that. So you want to take like your curved ruler between those points and you can start forming your curve. That was my nail. Alright, so you can form a curve here as well as you can form a curve going up towards this bust area. So like here. And also too, I just realized I've been calling this the upper bust when I meant underbust. Was I saying that right? I don't know, but just to correct it, just in case, this is the underbust if I was saying upper bust. I don't know. But your bust is the fullest part of your breast area. So now that we have went through and kind of did that, we can now be able to cut out this pattern. The optional thing about this pattern is that you can decide to add darts to your back bodice if you want to. That is completely optional, and you would add the dart in the same way that you did the front bodice block, right? The only thing is that I don't really add darts in the back because there's nothing really to shape back there. It's more so of like a, you know, like a plain field or whatever in the back. But that is optional depending on the type of structure inside of the garment that you are aiming for. As well as I said in the beginning, this trap line was only 21 inches. But for the front bodice block, it was 22 inches. But remember, we added a dart here. And that dart that we added to our front bodice block was the subtraction of the trap line versus minus the length. So the length minus the trap line, which was 1 inch, and we added a 1 inch dart to the front. So when that dart is intact, these two places of the back bodice block and the front bodice block will meet up to be able to be sewn together correctly, if that makes sense. I hope that is making sense. And if it is not making sense, please let me know in the comments and I will try my best to break it down in a different format. But yeah, just in short, you want to make sure that this doesn't have that same point because your back is shorter than your front, as well as this can be changed. So everything else stayed the same within your back bodice block. You can literally copy your front bodice block to the back and just change those few things about it. One more thing, guys, I really want to let you guys know that after you cut out these bodice blocks, please, please, please make sure that you add seam allowance around the entire bodice block, okay? Seam allowance is very crucial because when you cut out your muslin mock-up, you want to make sure that this fits exactly how you intend it to fit, and without seam allowance you're not going to be able to do that. So you're going to use these patterns to cut out your muslin mock-ups. You're going to true your patterns. Everything on the pattern might not be perfect off first just mock-up drawing. Everything might not be perfect. It might not fit your body perfectly just based off of the numbers. But that is why we use a muslin mock-up to true our patterns, and then we go back in and we edit anything that might be wrong within our pattern, okay? This is just the first step. These are just foundations, okay? All right, that's all I wanted to say, guys. Alrighty. Hope that makes sense. I hope that this video makes sense. If there are any questions that you have, make sure that you leave them in the comments. And again, I am so sorry for the delay. I am going to do better with getting you guys some videos, so make sure you let me know in the comments what you all want to do with these bodice blocks. Do you want to start off by building a basic top? Do you want to go full corset? Do you want to do dress? We have not did the skirt bodice blocks, but that'll be a whole nother video as well. But I do want to start off with the foundation, which is always the top, the bodice of anything. I want to start with the top. So let me know in the comments what you all want to see, and thank you again for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys soon. All right, bye.